So hopefully by now you've all received your June boxes, and one of the things that we've been promising to do is to practice what we preach, which is to not just taste the bars together, but also chat about the bars for another. So I'm here today with Jen, who helped us choose all these bars and also has her tasting notes. And what we thought we'd do is we'd just run through the 4 different bars. But before we start with our tasting notes, what we just thought we'd just do is to tell a little bit about the makers and who they all are. So if you've been to Portugal, been to Porto, you know about Venti Venti, you know about Pedro's amazing work. And if you haven't, you should really go and see the amazing chocolate museum and the factory there that he's got. And this is one of their fantastic milk bars in the standard box, and you've got a great dark bar in the other box. And then we've got Pachero, which is run by an Italian and Spanish couple who actually met in London. And then we've got 2 new makers. So we've got Csokomi, who are from Hungary, and Gabor, who we met about 6-9 months ago, and Sisters, which are 2 sisters in Ukraine, who are amazing chocolate makers, and we're delighted that we've got their bars. And we really hope you enjoy them all. And which one do you want to start by discussing, Jen?
So I tasted all of these together again, and it's always good to try bars together. You can really sort of get the different differences between them, and they bring out different notes, and comparing them helps you to articulate what you've tasted. So I started with the Csokomi Cheroni bar, which was really bold, fruity straight away, really vibrant, fresh sort of berries, and then kind of mellowed a little bit into more kind of cocoa notes and a bit nutty, and a lovely astringency in the end. So it was a really kind of bold start, and I found some of the other bars were more mellow in comparison to it.
Yeah, no, I think when we tried actually all of the different Csokomi bars, I mean, they do a large range, they also do some great inclusions, but the Venezuelan bar, this Cheroni, is just absolutely, it's just bursting full. It really hits you straight up front. And, you know, they describe it as having passion fruit and lemongrass and lots of other stuff, but it's a very, you try and get those flavour notes out because it is very, very clear, very, very apparent, and it has this lovely, lovely, lovely wave. So hats off to Gabor. Which one should we do next?
So this new bar to us, new maker, but a familiar origin. This is from Sisters, Madagascar. And this was more mellow, more kind of rounded. I would say this was a crowd pleaser of a bar. I think you'd be hard pressed to find someone who didn't like this bar. It's very approachable, but still has those lovely fresh fruity notes. A bit more stone fruit for me on this one, and then a bit of a kind of almond note at the end.
Yeah.
Quite creamy, really lovely. Just a nice kind of more mellow, summery bar compared to the Cheroni, which was bolder.
Yeah, and I think that comparison is very good because often when you have a Madagascan bar, and this is Marva, so it's not Samburano, when you have one of those bars, you often expect some citrus, you often expect some berry, etc. And this has got fruit, as Jen was sort of saying, but it is much, much more stone fruit than you expect. It's beautifully smooth. It's a great bar. Hats off to them for winning gold with it last year at the AOCs. Not the easiest thing in the world to be making craft chocolate, getting your beans in, getting your bars out in the middle of the Ukrainian war. So hats off to the 2 sisters who managed to do this, and we love meeting you, and we're really, really delighted to have that bar. But like, you know, not only is this bar delicious, but it's just got an amazing story behind it. Pachero next?
So on to Pachero, yeah. So this one's also slightly more smooth and mellow at the start, particularly compared to the first bar we've tasted here. I actually got a really brief smoky note on this one. It didn't last, but kind of fairly near the beginning, I got a really nice gentle smoky note that then quite quickly went, and instead it was replaced with kind of raspberries, cream, like a summer dessert. It's I did try this on a very summery afternoon, but it tasted summer dessert to me, so I really enjoyed this one. Some floral notes as well.
Yeah, so it's an interesting bar. It's from the Philippines, Mana, the farm. Pachero always craft amazing bars. You know, they're ex-coffee roasters, well, they still are coffee roasters. And I think one of the important things that we want to sort of stress here is that these are just our notes. Whenever we talk about the flavour wave, what we really want to encourage everybody to start by doing is basically, you know, think about how it goes. So get your flavour waves out. Think first and foremost, exactly as Jen was just articulating, think about the texture, but think about the taste, you know, sweet, sour, salty, bitter. What are those tastes? And then as you're focusing on that, what you'll discover is that you're going to get all sorts of different aromas and flavours coming through. And that's where we do get different. So I did not get the smoke. I didn't get it when we first tried it. I mean, there is, you know, a little bit of that sort of woodiness sometimes you get, but I didn't get that. And what this just goes is, you know, there's like 400 plus different aromas and volatiles in great craft chocolate. And what releases them is the heat in your mouth, your oral microbiome, what you've had before, what mood you're feeling in, and you are all going to get different things. But the fun of it is that you're always going to go and get that blick, that balance, that length, that intensity, that complexity. That journey is really what you want. And just articulating it really helps you appreciate it, I think. It's like, you get more out of a foreign holiday if you chat to people and you've taken the effort to learn a little bit about the language. It's a nice way of thanking the chocolate maker if you've got the language to be able to articulate their themes. And then, just in case everyone just thinks that milk chocolate's very Moorish, I think you found this bar like a sort of almost like a Scottish tablet, didn't you?
Yeah, this brought back memories of my childhood by the beach, having a Scottish tablet, which if you've not had before, it's like fudge but crumblier. It's got a slightly rougher texture, this bar, but so rich, so fudgy, so creamy. I actually couldn't have a lot of this because it is so rich, but really indulgent, really delicious.
Yeah, I mean, on a hot day, one of the great things about chocolate is on a hot day, put a piece of it in your mouth, let it melt, it'll cool you down because it's pulling the heat away from your mouth. But one of the great delights about milk chocolate is you always want a bit more. But here, it's so filling, it's so satisfying. And I think, we're going to get Pedro on at some point to talk to him more about like how he's changing some of his crafting processes using ball mills and everything. But I think that's what you were picking up with the texture. But look, again, here's the bottom line, the advice. Look for the wave, have a couple of bars on the go at the same time, and compare and contrast, discuss. I learned a lot from chatting to Dan on this. Okay, so now I'm going to put you on the spot. Which is the bar you're going to take to the softball tonight?
Oh, difficult. I mean, if we're looking for a crowd pleaser, I'm going for the Sisters Madagascar. If you're going for something bold and bright to capture people's attention, it has to be the Chocomi. But they're all great bars. Surreal.
Right, so I've got these two to take home
summary box.
Brilliant. Okay, see you next month with more recommendations.